Good afternoon and welcome to day two of this conference. Thank you for joining us yesterday and thank you for also joining us today. Like we usually say, please share the link with everyone around you because this is going to be a blessing for families across globe. We have not recovered from yesterday's sessions. God blessed us with amazing words for every man, every father, every woman, every mother who were in those sessions. Like we were blessed. And I'm sure God is about to do even much more than what happened yesterday. With the speakers we have today, I can assure you that we are in for real deal, like real deal. So thank you so much for being here. And I want you to start sharing the link immediately. As our usual way, our speaker will be, his profile will be put on, and then we'll get to know who is speaking to us. We'll get to read his profile, go through it. It will be by the side, and everyone will be seeing who you're talking to, or sorry, who is talking to us. An amazing, amazing brother who has worked with and still working with young boys, doing amazing thing in the space of raising the boy child. We are in for a real deal this afternoon. And I want to tell you, please don't allow yourself to get distracted with this session. Get everyone in, mothers of boys, fathers of boys, uncles, brothers, get everyone in. I don't want to tell you anything that will preempt you. You need to listen to him to know or confirm whether the tip that I've given you now is what it is. So welcome again to day two of the Proactive Parents Conference, and we are getting in already to begin the session. Oh, our speaker is here already. Yay! Yay, that's good. Okay, today in this session, we will be having Abibo Perepele. Abibo is a boys mentor, teens coach, student development counselor, sexual purity expert, addiction recovery therapist, youth life, relationship, and parenting counselor. His passion is to see that God's programming or programming system becomes the system of our families. He's a graduate of accounting and holds several certificates within the family life practice. Abibo has authored over 20 books for boys, preteens, and teenagers. He's married to his beautiful treasure, Favor Abibo Perepele, and they are blessed with many, many sons and daughters. Wow! Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome our amazing, amiable speaker, Abibo Perepele. Good to have you, brother. Good to have you. Good
Good
afternoon.
good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's good to be here,
Yes.
and I want to say thank you for the great works you do, Mrs. Vivian Annie. Thank you for choosing to do God's work, and the Lord continually bless you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't even know you were already at the background. Thank you for joining us very early. We have
Mm.
already read a brief of you. I know that the dynamic or the dimensions you have are so much that if we take
Uh,
everything about you, we're taking 1 hour. So we have read a brief of who we have today on this stage. I will be leaving the
mm.
stage for him for the next 1 hour. I
Uh,
know, I know that we're going to be blessed on this mountain today, this afternoon. My goodness,
there shall be
parenting
fire.
materials are here with me. And I want to encourage everybody, please, if you're here, we are not seated with your writing material, please go and get it. These kind of persons are not your regular people you will listen to, and you're not writing. Hey, they are not
Mm.
gotten like they are not the regular people you get at a bake and corn. So now that we have him, please get your writing materials and make sure you're following him bomber to bomber, word to word. Write what you can, and then we'll take it up from there. Welcome, brother. I'll be leaving the
Thank you
stage
very
for you.
much.
The next time you see me, we'll be rounding up.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, every parent that is here with us today. I am super excited to have the opportunity to share God's wisdom and value for parenting. Now, my section today is building boys to navigate digital distraction and build lasting integrity. But beyond that, I would, as God had graced me, want to backtrack towards something that's very important. I'm a kingdom life consultant per se, with regards to family building, which relates to boys, teens, parents, and basically I teach a lot in marriage conferences, family development systems. And one of my very strong expression today is on addiction, addiction with gambling, pornography, masturbation, gaming, drugs, lost addiction, and all of those things. But I trust that God will help us today as we breathe through. Parenting is a ministry. Parenting is a kingdom assignment. And one of the reasons why the world is where it is because many of us did not understand God's assignment in parenting for us. Parenting does not begin when our children are born. Parenting began before we got married. Every marriage is a product of either parenting dysfunction or parenting functionality. You married and your marriage produced a parenting system. But before your marriage, you were produced by parenting system. So the picture of your marriage is produced by parenting system, either directly or indirectly. All right. And that's why one of the things I want us to pay attention to is to backtrack to asking some question. Who raised me? How was I raised? What manuscript did they use to raise me? Is it positively influencing who I've become as an individual and who I've become as a spouse and who I am as a parent? Three things. My parenting, the people that parented me, how have they influenced my person as an individual, my person as a spouse, and my person as a parent? Now, what do I need to learn to upskill what I was parented with for the generation I am parenting? So parenting is kingdom dimensional. There is no limit to parenting because it is God's culture for transforming generations. One of the foundation for the kingdom of God and the will of God on earth is parenting. But when the people who have been given the responsibility to parent do not understand God's culture for parenting, they won't fulfill it. Why did I say so? Every time we look at the scripture, we realize that before a child is born, God begins to communicate with the parents about the child. Many times in the scripture, before Samson was born, God spoke with Hannah concerning it. Before Jesus was born, while Moses was born, a lot of them, while John the Baptist was born, a lot of people in the scripture, God begins to interfere into the destiny of our children through us. So the sensitivity of us as parents influence who our children become. So we are creating a transgenerational journey by either our error or by our clear picture of God's will for our life. Having said that, welcome again to this class. I am a very fast talker. I believe that if I see some things on the bar or I know somebody is listening, I would continue to speak as I should. For the few minutes I have, I want to remind us that my greatest responsibility as a parent is to love my children unconditionally, no matter what and even if. Please write it down. My greatest responsibility as a parent is to love my children unconditionally, no matter what and even if. The proof of love is not the absence of discipline, because true love creates relationship, responsibility, rules, and rewards. True love produces relationship, responsibility, rules, and rewards. Jesus expressed that in discipling the apostles. He showed them relationship, gave them responsibility, created principles and standards, that's rules, and he showed them reward. That's one of the powerful curriculum God gave me to design about true parenting. And in the course of this teaching, because I'm going to be dealing a lot with building boys, I want to quickly say this, that the greatest enemy of Satan is not God. The greatest enemy of Satan is the male man. Almost every system Satan had designed on earth is to fight against the male man. Almost every system. Satan had designed on earth is to attack the male man. Let me practically say it. The reason why we have prostitutes on the streets, it's because of men. The reason why we have gambling centers is because of men. A lot of things is because of men. So Satan knows that when he attacks the male man, he has attacked a family, he has attacked a marriage, he has attacked children, he has attacked future. And that's why God wants us to pay attention. It is wickedness for us, especially as fathers, not to understand God's parenting system for the children we are raising. I've seen many fathers who are spiritually, in quote, they are pastors, they are many things in church, but when it comes to parenting, they are not interested. And the model for which we raise our children is how our children will produce result. Let me show us something quickly so that we'll start in from there. There are 7 practical ways boys are raised. 7 practical ways boys are raised. 7 things that shape boys, because we're talking about boys today. 7 practical things that shape boys. And when you understand these 7 practical things, it will begin to reconstruct how you see a boy and how you influence a boy. 7 practical things that influence boy. Number 1, environment. The first thing that influences a boy is environment. What surrounds him will always shape him. You can write it down in your book. Environment. What surrounds him will shape him. Number 2, exposure. What he repeatedly sees and encounters will influence him. What your son repeatedly sees and encounters will influence him. So the environment is number 1. There are 2 kinds of environment, basically. There's the internal environment and the external environment. The internal environment is your direct family. The external environment is your neighborhood. So the question is, when your internal environment does not sow the right seeds, the external environment will damage the destiny of a child. Number 3 is education. What he is taught gives him knowledge and understanding. What is taught. The reason why I mentor, I train, I coach teenagers and boys is because if they are not taught, they will be taught. In fact, let me say it. Every boy is taught. The question is, who is teaching and what are they teaching? There's a manuscript that always operates. Is it that the manuscript of Satan or the manuscript of the kingdom? There's a social manuscript that we think is just moral. Morality is not the evidence that value is given. So we must intentionally begin to ask, what is the education of our child? What's the education of our son? And the proof of education is not the child's ability to get a job. The proof of education is the ability of a child to know who he is, build the quality of character, find his purpose and assignment, and solve problems for generations. So every boy that have not found identity and purpose is not educated, because education comes from first discovering you, identity, then knowing why you are created, purpose, then begin to develop the you have discovered and begin to deploy the you have discovered. So true education is not maths and English. A is for Akike, B is for Bakike. No. All of those things are numbers and alphabets, and all of those things are part of the communication systems that helps us find true education. So when a boy is educated in his purpose, he does not allow distractions fulfill his destiny. Jesus was educated in his purpose. Jesus studied about what he was called to do. John the Baptist was educated in his purpose. You see, when Saul did not know his purpose, he began to fight against God's purpose for his life. But when he encountered Jesus, he found his purpose and he became a new man. So the first foundation of education is identity education. The second foundation of education is purpose education. The sad thing is, many people graduate from university, become husbands, become fathers, become mothers, become whatever they are, but they've not found their purpose. What is purpose? Purpose is the reason for the creation of a thing. And purpose needs protection. Purpose has a language. Purpose has an environment. Purpose has an exposure. Purpose has education. When I find the purpose of my son, I began to expose him to the environment that help him find his purpose, to fulfill his purpose. Expose him to environment that educates him for his purpose. Are we learning? Number 4, example. Who he watches teaches him how to live. You see, when I didn't know my purpose as a young boy, there are examples I began to follow. I followed PDD. I followed LL Cool J. There are secular and ungodly musicians that talked about drugs, gangster life, gunshots and the rest of that. And I was watching movies that were directed to that. It got to a point at the age of 10, I started smoking weed because of the people I saw, the examples I saw. At that point of my life, my father was still struggling with sin, so he was smoking. And I had a copper in my neighborhood who was very good with maths, but he knows how to smoke weed. So when I come to ask him about maths, he will tell me if I want to learn maths very well, then I can start smoking so I know it. So the example I watched was teaching me what I should not learn. So we have to consistently expose our children to examples that are kingdom driven and purpose driven. Boys learn more from what we model than what we tell them. Now, some parents will say, but I'm a good parent. I show my children, listen, there's a battle against your sons. The battle against our sons is not just what we fight from home. There are systems we have to create to help it work. Number 5 is what? Encouragement. The sad thing is I've realized that many boys are not encouraged. Many fathers and mothers look for the mistakes of our sons more than the things they have done right. What is affirmed in him is strengthened. If you affirm your son, you are strengthening him. When last did you affirm your son? When last did you hug your son? When last did you look at your son and say, I love you. I'm glad to be your mom. I'm glad to be your dad. You are one of the best gifts I've ever received. Boys love 3 things. Please pay attention to this. Every boy needs 3 things. And if you give them these 3 things, you have won their heart and you will help them fulfill destiny. Number 1, every boy needs love. They want to know their love. They want to see their love. Number 2, every boy needs acceptance. The reason why they are joining cult is because they are looking for acceptance. The reason why they are trying to do truth or dare, they want to do things, is because they want to be accepted. Number 3, every boy is looking for significance. Let me ask you, does your son really feel loved in your presence? Does your home environment create the love system that your son understands? Do you understand your son's love language? Does your son feel accepted, or is always judged for what he has done wrong? Does your son still feel significant before you? If I interview your son today, would he tell me, look, I truly understand my parents love me? I'm not talking about boys who are confused about love, who feel love is, liberty to do anything. No, every true love understands boundaries, but boundaries are communicated and not forced. Number 6, experience. Experience. What he goes through can build or break him. Guided experience teaches boys what? Resilience, responsibility, wisdom, and emotional strength. Guided experience. That's why from the beginning, we have to allow our boys to fail. Boys want to fail so that they can learn to succeed. And when your son makes a mistake and you start yelling, shouting, can't you see you're comparing your son? You're damaging experience, you're damaging esteem, you're damaging worth, you're damaging confidence, and your son will become a terror to his own destiny. Stop sabotaging the future of your son by criticizing him for his errors. Every boy will have an experience. The question is, what experience is your son having? And if they can't talk with you when they are having experiences, look, it means that there's no quality parent-son relationship. Number 7, expectation. What we consistently expect from him can influence what he becomes. What we consistently expect from our sons can influence what they become. It's like when a boy is growing up and you always call him pastor. Pastor's sons go through a lot. I was in a conference recently. I was talking about the pastor's children, the fight, the battle they are facing because we bring this picture of perfection towards them. And many of them are struggling with several things I'm going to share about in this section. It's terrible things. So I've talked about the 7 E's that raises and shapes boys. If you're getting value, type in the view. You say, I want to see something. Value, value, value. Value, value, value. Value, value, value. So what values are you getting right now? All right, so let's talk about digital distraction. All right. What is digital distraction? Digital distractions are activities that pulls a boy's attention away from what matters. They are digital activities that pulls a boy away or boys away their attention from what matters. What matters, like school, family, friendship, responsibility, spiritual growth, and healthy development. So digital distractions are those activities that grabs their boys' attention and pulls them away from what matters. Did you get that? All right. So digital distractions could be phone, games, social media. There are a lot of them. We're going to talk about them. They are basically about 9 distractions that are destroying boys today. 9 primary or 7 or 9 primary digital distractions. All right. Now, the second thing I want to say is there are reasons boys struggle with digital distractions because it's a struggle. Many boys don't want to have digital distractions, but they are struggling with it. And let's talk about why they struggle with it. Number one is curiosity. Every boy will be curious. Every boy has a level of curiosity. If you're a male listening to me, there's a point in your life you are curious. Curiosity can either create creativity or compromise. Please write it down. There's nothing wrong with curiosity. Unguarded curiosity can create compromise. Guided curiosity can create creativity. So the reason why you're seeing things, innovations, AI, tech, media, it's because someone was curious. Can't this go beyond this? Why can't we do this? So that's where invention, innovations come in because there's curiosity. Boys naturally want to explore new things. They want to explore new things. They want to get into a new environment, make new friends, play new games, have new experiences. All of those things are part of the development system of a boy. There's nothing wrong with curiosity. But when curiosity is not guided, is not trained, that's when it gets to compromise that leads to destruction. So the point is, what we do with boys is to guide their curiosity. We find out what they're curious about. We ask them, why are you curious about it? What are the things you want to do with this curiosity? So we direct their curiosity for productive and responsible results. You don't say, stop being curious. No, no, no. Find out, sit with them. Some people, some parents have flogged out the poverty of their parents have flogged out their creativity. So, example, your son brings a fan and he begins to try to see how to work it when he was 2 years old. You didn't know that there's something unique about that boy. You say, hey, you want to spoil a fan? No. Look for something that he can work with. Give it the opportunity to try it. It shows that you are interested, you value, you love him, and you are interested in his future. So when you shut that boy down, after a while, he start reading. Before you know, he's going into reading poem. Before you know, he's reading something. Before you know it, the creative engineer in him is lost. The creative engineer. And then before you know it, he's studying something that he's not supposed to become. There's no course that is bad. No relevant course is bad. However, some of us are outside God's will in the courses we study. Let me give an example. I studied accounting in my first degree. Why did I study accounting? Number one, I had a neighbor who was an accountant who worked in a bank. The way he dressed, the way he showed up every weekend to play with some of the boys in the neighborhood, I liked him. He was so, clean, organized, decent. I liked the man. So from childhood, I started thinking, I think I was about 11, 12 years old then. Started thinking, I said, oh, when I grow up, I'll be an accountant. So I left, science in SS1. I moved out of science completely after SS1. And then I went into art to study accounting. I moved out of science. I was good with physics, maths, biology, and the other things. Now, I studied accounting because I was influenced by a man. There's nothing wrong with modeling. The question is, while our children are focused on people, we must help them understand selectiveness in modeling. Oh, I wish it was a boys mentorship class, but then I'm sure we're getting value with it. That's what I do. We run a boys mentorship system. We guide boys, we train them, we equip them, and then they go to become who God wants them to be. But when I graduated from school, my final year, God was telling me, "See, you've done what you were looking for. Now I'm sending you into the missions of family, into the missions of family." So, I left pastoring a church, came in, studied about family development, parenting psychology, teenage development, boy psychology, and then moved into addiction management. All the things I do today, I have trainings and certification in them. Apart from that, I knew that God was calling me into the mountain of family, and that's why we're doing what we're doing today. So, curiosity. The second thing that influences boys is boredom. When life feels empty, the screen becomes an easy escape. The sad thing is many boys can't sit down with boredom. Boredom is a gift. In fact, let me quickly say this. Part of the way God speaks to men is to bring them to the place of boredom, bring them to the place of silence. Boredom is like a place of silence where it looks like your brain is empty. You feel empty. And then you just spend time in the presence of God. Like I teach the boys, when you are bored, connect with God. That is a point where you begin to get clarity of purpose, revelations of instructions of what to do. Boredom is a gift. But many of us don't know how to use boredom. Even as adults, some of us don't know how to use boredom. Once you're bored, you just want to get into activities to just feel that dopamine high. And that's why some of us are not listening to God and we're not hearing God. Boredom is a gift where we pay attention to the inner spirit, the Holy Spirit, and our spirit, and begin to find what has worked for us, what is not working, what do I have to change, do I have to improve, how do I become better? Boredom. Look, boredom management is something that we need to learn even as adults. Number three, peer pressure. We're talking about reasons boys struggle with digital addiction to distractions. Peer pressure. Friends can introduce content and habits they would not discover alone. So your boys have friends in church, at school, in the neighborhood, even your siblings, their siblings, even your relatives' children, their cousins. They are pressured by them. I remember one time I saw this boy licking this particular sweet. My parents had never bought that sweet for us before. But you see, I wanted to test that sweet because every time he licks the sweet, he feels like, oh, and this boy was very good with football. So what he was doing at that time was before we start playing any football training, he would lick the sweet and then play. And he used to score goals. And you know the advert now, like Milo, pa 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 pa, Milo. Looks like somebody took Milo and they went to play ball and the boy was dribbling and scored the goal. Or picnic, Papilo, you know, you make us proud. I said, so this is one of the things that gives this boy energy to score. So one of those days, I stole my mother's money because it was not money I could afford. And I went to buy that particular sweet. It was more expensive than others. I licked that sweet before we started playing the ball. That day, I scored the highest goal I've scored in our football trainings. 3 goals. Men and brethren. You know what happened to me? I felt, oh, it was a sweet something. So every time I want to play good ball, I'll go and lick sweet. But because I couldn't afford it, I have to steal to buy sweet. What is that? Peer pressure. I was comparing, competing, and before you know it, I started stealing my mother's money. My mother's money. Okay, you see, I'm just telling you how some boys are getting to misbehavior, and you're saying my son is a bad boy. No, check it. There's a root cause. Why was I stealing? Not because I like stealing, but because I could not afford that sweet, and that I felt like that sweet was one thing that gave me capacity to score goals. So I love football. I want to score the goal. So that competition, that comparison, is why I got into it. So to fit in and afford it, I had to steal. Oh, I'm being vulnerable. Please don't tell my parents. They will not flog me again. My mother is aware of this story. But you see, most of you lied to your children. I've been always good. Hey, I've never been a bad person. You, if your parents play your record before your children, what your children are doing, their learning work is small. All right. So number 4 is emotional escape. Some boys use screen to escape loneliness, stress, rejection, and sadness. I've seen this in a lot of boys. In fact, as working with boys, I've seen many boys who became addicted. They were trying to escape loneliness and they became addicted to screen. They were trying to escape stress and rejection. They got addicted to other activities. You can't use negative habits to destroy a negative experience. No, and that's one mistake we make because these boys are not taught, they're not trained. That's why we have the Boys Mentorship, Boys Growth Academy. All right. That's why we have the books. We have a lot of good books for boys, a lot of great books where our boys will read and become valuable. Very necessary materials. Number 5, lack of boundaries. Freedom without guidance can easily become dependence. Please write that down. Freedom without guidance can easily become dependence. Freedom without guidance can easily become dependence. When you don't guide your son, when you don't protect your son will become independent. All right. So how does digital distractions capture boys' attention? But before I take that, I'd like to get Vivian back. I just want to be sure you can hear me, Mrs. Vivian. I also want to be sure that we're actually communicating because I like feedback. So, yes, just to be sure, I'm still with you and we're here.
Yes. We are here. I don't know if you can see the comments. The comments is already boozy. And I'm
I can't
also
see.
busy writing.
Okay. I just wanted to be
Yes, I
sure.
can hear you
Thank
loud
you
and clear
very
and we are
much.
communicating. Yes, go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, 5 ways digital distraction capture boys' attention. Because you're wondering, but my son, I want him to be responsible. Look, there's a way they capture the attention of boys, and you must study it and understand it. I'm a lot with boy psychology, so I can tell you. I'm a man. I was a boy. I didn't know these things, so I just lived with it. But when I started studying boy psychology, I realized that some of things were shouting. No, it's not shouting. It's for us to understand it and look at how can we revert it. How can we reverse it? How can we create a system that can give the same result in a different way? All right. The first thing is instant rewards. Boys like rewards. Let me say it again. One of the reasons why football is still alive and is still on, they just started Premiership again. They like rewards. So they want everything that makes them win and they are celebrated. You know, when a club wins, even the fans that do not even have anything for it. So imagine someone will pay money to watch football. He's not paid. Imagine somebody will pay. I'm not saying football, so I watch football, I like football. Because we like that activity where there's a winner. If there was no goal post, if there was no winner in a football match, when there is draw, people get angry. Why can't you score? Why can't you win? Why? Because reward is something that makes boys excited. Rewards are very important. The only reward boys don't like is when a girl get pregnant that is not their wife. Oh, sorry, don't mind me. That's how I act sometimes. Rewards, very important. So they like likes, levels, comments, video gives quick pleasure. So you see a boy, he likes levels. That's why they are playing games. They are playing Mortal Kombat level 1, football game level 2. They are competing. Reward, comments, videos. They give quick pleasure. Number 2, endless content. There's always another video, another game, another post. So they're on the media. There's a game, there's a new level. You know, they did it for women to an extent, where they began the Z World, Telemundo, and the rest of them. Some women burnt to use burnt. It's not burnt offering, no. Burnt soup, burnt yam, burnt bees, burnt. So for boys, it's media. A boy can sit down with that game, he's playing it, you're greeting him, he's not responding, he does not care who enters the house, they finish robbing. In fact, they can go to his kitchen, collect everything, he can be playing. It's because these are things that are capturing him. Endless content. Number 3, notifications. Alerts constantly calls the brain back. So when there's this alert, notification, the boy wants to see what's happening. Who is that? Who is checking up? Who is calling? Number 4, algorithm. Platforms learn what interests him and keep showing more of it. I'm going to talk about some of these addictions with algorithm. I was a victim of pornography. I was a victim of a lot of things. So platforms will pop up. If a boy goes to see a shoe on the internet, it happens to everybody anyway. And then you spent at least 15 seconds on that platform, or 10 seconds sometimes. The next 7 videos that will come in, a shoe video will show up. If you watched it and liked, the next 7 videos that will come in, at least 2 shoe videos will come up. And that's exactly how the boy, till he buys. When he buys, they now understand, okay, he bought something about shoe. Let's add something that relates to boys' fashion. Shoe, shirt, bag, cap. I see what happens. And then he's always there. Oh, I like this. I don't like this. I like this. That's exactly how many of them buy. So there's impulse buying. So they can't control and manage their money. Do you understand what algorithm is doing to our sons now? Yes. So what we need to do is to capture them early. There's a conference I always run, a project I always run every year. It's called Catch Boys Young. We go to train them to find identity, purpose, build character, understand vision, and then commit to something good. Because there's distraction everywhere. Boys are more distracted now than ever before. And more distractions are coming. Are you not noticing it? Gambling, distractions. Number 5, social validation. Boys may begin seeking approval through views, likes, and online popularity. I always tell the boys in our mentorship program, popularity is not the proof of usefulness. You can be popularly useless. So they want likes. I remember one musician who did everything to be on the stage. The first time the person went on the stage, said they had about 1 point something million likes. In fact, the guy threw a party. Likes. That's why I tell you, you must learn to like your son because he's looking for likes. Oh, the thing is, what repeatedly captures the attention of a boy will eventually shape his desire. The things that repeatedly capture the attention of boys will eventually shape the desires of boys. So, what's capturing your boy's attention? And there are things sometimes we are making the mistakes. Sometimes, as we see this thing, we start shouting. There are 6 mistakes I want you to stop making. When you're working with boys, boys are not perfect. They will not be perfect. They are work in progress. They will misbehave. The reason why we're doing mentorship and training is to guide them. Even some of those in our mentorship program misbehave. I'm not that kind of coach. I'll say, once your son comes into our mentorship program, oh, it's going to be perfect. It's a lie. We don't have a perfect system. Every boy in our mentorship program learns at their pace and they grow. I don't believe in those ones that will say, once he comes in, everything will change. It's a lie. Jesus had disciples that were with him. He was with them for 3 years. All of them did not change. If not, Judas Iscariot that eats carrot would have not betrayed Jesus. Even Peter, that was his man, his personal person, denied him. So I don't believe that in 3 years, your boy will be perfect. There's no perfect boy. Every boy will go through processes. I was mentoring a boy for about 9 years. He was going through different journeys. One of the days, a young boy reached me and said, sir, do you know that I thought what you were saying was not working? But the more I spend time listening to you, now I can tell you, sir, the things you shared with me some years back are currently what I'm applying, and I'm becoming a better version of myself. I just want to say thank you to you. The young man is married now. But the early point, it was looking like nothing was changing. The Holy Spirit just stay at it. So you see, sometimes it looks like your sons are not learning. Stay at it. But you have to be careful. There are things I want you to stop doing. Number one, stop shouting at your sons. Are you stupid? What's wrong with you? No. Correction without connection rarely produces transformation. Correction without connection rarely produces transformation. If you really want to correct your son, then you have to really connect with your son. Shouting, nagging, yelling, no, those things don't work. Number two, stop assuming your son is stubborn. I hear a lot of parents say, my son is stubborn. Look, understand what needs the screen is meeting. What's need is the screen meeting in your son? Is it dealing with boredom, stress, rejection, anger, frustration? What is the screen meeting in your son's life? Sit down and ask him. You're not having father-son conversation, no mother-son conversation. You're just there. No, that's not how it works. Assumption is the lowest form of education. You can't assume it right. No, go beyond assumption. Think of the results that has to be have. Do you understand? Number three, stop giving unlimited access. The bad part is many of us give unlimited access to our son. Boundaries are protected, not punished. Boundaries, there are boundaries. As I'm growing and I'm learning, yes, it can be difficult sometimes, it can be challenging, but our sons need discipline. You can discipline him by saying, this screen, you're doing 30 minutes alone. Let him shout. Let him get angry. It's part of the journey. He will thank you later. Number four, stop using phone as a babysitter. Some of us as parents. Look, I went to the bank the other day. The mother was busy. They were responding to her. The boy was seriously playing game. And then I was seated with him. He was playing the game. He was focused on the game. The mother was trying to get his attention. He couldn't hear her. His headset was on. And the mother in the bank. The mother shouted. He didn't even hear her. So I tapped the young boy. I said, take off that thing. He looked at me. He ignored me. I tapped him again. I said, please, can you take off that thing? He looked at me and said, what for? My mother gave it to me. Please let me be. 9-year-old boy. Look, I'm not part of those that say don't give your child a phone. No, look, I am not part of those that never allow your child to have a phone, use a phone. No, I'm not saying ownership. I'm talking about regulation. Regulation. All right? Number what now? Number 5, stop ignoring what your son is watching. What is the genre of songs he likes? What kind of movies does he like? Sometimes sit down and ask. You see, let me say this quickly. Parent son conversation will solve a lot of problems that you're going to pray about in the future. Parent son conversation. Create an atmosphere where your son is calm, understand you love him, and you can consistently relate. And this is one weapon fathers can use because Satan is using it. uh, a boy was telling me, he said if a father give him instruction, he would never respond. But if one of the musicians, let me not call his name, gives him instruction, speedily, say does not even need to be there. Why? Influence. Influence is not first about proximity. We'll talk about that in another section if I have an opportunity. Number 6, stop focusing only on removing the screen. Teach him what to do with his attention. Because you can't just remove the screen. After removing the screen, what next? He has to be engaged, positively engaged. He needs to know what to do, how to do what, when to do what, where to do what. Otherwise, you're not getting the results. I'm sure you're getting value. How do I know my son may be struggling with digital addiction? That's another question we need to respond to. How do you know? How can I know? How do I know my son may be struggling with digital addiction? So let me just give you some of the patterns. You have to watch for these patterns. There are patterns that can help you know. Number 1, he becomes extremely angry when screen time ends. He becomes extremely angry. I recently realized this in my daughter. So we give her 30 minutes screen time where she watches videos of herself that we created, videos of our family, have video section with her grandparents and the rest of them. I noticed that every time we take off the phone, she begins to shout. So, and we just started recently. We've not been giving her phone for a long time. I realized that for their age, all right, Gen Beta and all of that, Alpha, Gen Beta, whatever they are, they say they are digital natives. However, I started creating a system where we talk about it. Now I'll keep at it, go with her at it till she begins to understand it because repetition creates expectation and experience. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2, he repeatedly breaks agreed digital boundaries. So your son is always breaking the digital boundaries you guys have set. Know that he's getting addicted. Number 3, he hides or lies about his online activities. He hides or lies about his online activities. As you're showing up, he's closing the tabs, he's closing all of those things. Number 4, his schoolwork, sleep, or responsibility begins to suffer. Number 5, he loses interest in activities he previously enjoyed. He used to enjoy family time. He used to enjoy playing with others physically. Now he's no longer connected. He's disconnected with his real world, connected to a fictional world. That's a problem. Number 6, he constantly thinks about getting back online. Once it looks like, oh, it's online time, he has to do everything to get back. Number 7, he prefers the digital world to real life relationships and connections. And number 8, he continues despite obvious negative consequences. If you're seeing the signs, then you have to actually reach out to me because there's a problem and we need to walk your son through it. And part of the things I've done is to create the curriculum and the book, How to Protect Your Son from Digital Addiction. There are a lot of addictions I talked about and I trained them about. One sign alone does not automatically mean what addiction. So look for persistent loss of control and growing interference with everyday life. So let's look at how many more minutes do I have? So I'll know what I want to share right now. I have a lot to share with us. So Mrs. Vivian, please come back. Tell me how many minutes I have. I've not shared my story. I've not shared my journey. I've not even started talking. Uh, Unmute your mic so that we'll know how many minutes I have.
Oh, okay. We want to learn. Just go ahead. That's why we we gave you. We have more than 30 minutes for you. Just go ahead. More than that.
Okay, so that we
We
can
are
have
taking our
Q and
personal
A.
time to merge the 45 minute session. So your session will take a full hour before we come back with our questions. So just
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so I'll do another 15, 20 minutes,
I
then we
can
can take
see
our
that
questions.
the
Please,
chat is buzzing. So we need
please
you
let them
just
send in their questions so we can answer a lot of questions. I think I
please
want to
do,
spend more
please
time
do. Send your questions.
answering
I can see
questions.
the chat is buzzing. Just start dropping your questions, please. So he
All
will
right,
take it
please.
as soon as the session is over.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Those feedback helped me. All right. So we see sometimes people need feedback so that they can do better and then they can reorganize themselves. And thank you very much, Vivian. You're doing a great job. All right. So where are we now? I like using E's for simple understanding. All right. So now I want to teach you the 5 E's of protecting your son from digital distractions. The 5 E's of protecting your sons from digital distractions. But before we talk about those 5 E's, I want to say there are 7 digital addictions many boys struggle with today. I want you to know these addictions. 7 major digital addictions many boys struggle with today. Please, I am saying this because some of us as parents don't even know the signs of these addictions and we don't even know they're happening in our sons. Look, Satan has orchestrated it as a system. He's not coming as a demon. He has come as a systemic programmer that understands the needs, the desires of boys. He knows that boys will be stressed. So he say, let me look at a system that will make a boy feel if he's stressed, use this and you'll be fine. If you're bored, this is it. If you feel lonely, this is it. If you feel rejected, he had come into those systems. He had come with a dysfunction that can make boys feel they are functioning very well. So there are 7 of them. Number one is gaming addiction. Excessive gaming that interferes with sleep, school, responsibility, and relationship. Gaming addiction. I've realized that many boys today, their hands are always like this. Their hands are like this. They are holding their phone this way, and they are always gaming addiction is one of the killer of destinies of boys. Ah, I don't want to go into it. Let me just list them. Number two, pornography addiction. Meanwhile, if you want, I have a 5 series book, How to Deal with Gaming and Online Addiction or Addiction Before You Become Addicted. On social media and gaming before you become addicted. How to say no to gambling, how to say no to pornography, how to say no to masturbation, how to resist negative pressure. I have a lot of books on that that helps boys, strictly boys. In fact, anyway, girls can read it. Some girls have been reading it. Some families allow their girls to read, but majorly it talks about the young boy or the boy child. All right, pornography addiction is the next one. Repeated consumption of sexual content that becomes difficult to control and can distort sexuality, relationships, and values. Let me pause a little on this and use 2 minutes to say something to you as parents. Parents, listen, listen. Some of our sexual experiences as parents are exposing our children to sexual immorality. I've said this, you can sexualize your son without thinking it's true. Example, you are the one that exposed them to what we call sexual music. Baby, give it to me some more. Oh yeah, shake body. Bigbadu, Sopi. Those songs come into your home through you. You play it in the media, you play it in your playlist, and you say you're an adult, you can control it. As you're playing it, your son is rehearsing it. Yes, you play it in your car. You turn on the radio. You're not selective with what is playing. Songs. There's a song that was sung one time. It said, music no need permission to enter your spirit. So the sound and the song. So they will go look for it. And when the sound gets into their ear, the next time you play somewhere, it's not the sound again. The sound had captured their interest to listen to the lyrics. And many times they don't interpret the lyrics from the lens of purity. They interpret it from the lens of excitement. And that's why before you know it, some of them don't even know what they are singing, but they are singing. They don't even look for the meaning of what they are saying. Listen, addiction does not show up as addiction again. Pornography is not showing up as porn. There are soft core porn, there are hardcore porn. Soft core porn are the things that we see in music. Example, a musician is singing. He's not wearing shirts. He's wearing shorts or trouser and then he's putting a chain on his neck, and then he's sagging his trouser, and the girls are wearing pant and brazier, and the boys are spraying them money and spanking their buttocks. That's soft porn. Let me say it again. That's soft porn. You're a mother. You're always not wearing brazier in the house. Your nipples are standing unholy before your son. That's soft porn. Let me say it again. Your son is 7 years, 8 years, and you're dressed like that. That's soft porn. Your sister is staying with you people, and she's wearing bomb shot every time. Her laps are always exposed. That's soft porn. Ah, should I go on? There are a lot of things that are soft porn in our environment, and we think it's a joke. Let me leave that one for another day. Social media addiction, constant checking, scrolling, posting, and seeking likes and validation. There's a time God had to deal with me on that. He told me for a period of time, don't be on social media. Learn to control yourself internally, manage yourself. Those times I just want to post. He said, look, there's nothing wrong. I felt that was what would make me look, there's nothing wrong with posting every time. But when God knows you, God knows you. So when you listen to him, there are things he pauses you from doing, not because they are bad, but they are not good for you at that moment. We must come to a point where we do not outgrow God's instruction and God's direction. We must come to that point where we are listening to God while we're trying to do business as parents, while we're trying to engage. There are times God is saying, pause, take a little rest. Don't say, oh, but I have to be up so that people will know. Look, that's when you become so popularly useless. Go and ask Saul. He was still a king, but he had lost it. I pray we will not lose it in Jesus' name. We have to see, God, what do you want me to stop doing part time? I remember one time I was trying to, do something. In fact, let me quickly say it. There's a book that's coming up tomorrow, Marriage Sweetness. When God gave me that book, I didn't want to write it because that season of our marriage was looking a little bit challenging and tough. And some things were happening. I felt like, wait, there's no need to write it. So I left it. I went for trainings. I was trying to work on our marriage. Every marriage goes through seasons. And that was the season God was teaching me a lot because I was working with people, but some things were not working in my marriage. And I was praying, I was interceding. The worst part was what I was solving for people was difficult in my marriage. I was trying to work it on. My wife was trying to do it and it looked like nothing was happening. In fact, one of the times I remember that I prayed for a healing over a family for something that we were sick of in our marriage. And the family got result and shared their testimony. So I went back to God. He said, look, sometimes I'm training you so that you understand my love. Until God began to interrupt me and said, I want you to write this book. So I said, God, I don't want to write this book. He said, why? He said, because I don't feel like this book is working my marriage. He said, but it's a result I want you to get in your marriage. Write it. It took time. And God one day told me, he said, look, it's flowing. The idea is flowing. I can give it to somebody else. And that's when I apologized to God and I started working on that book. I'm saying this in a context. I'm talking to a parent right now. I don't know who you are. There are seasons of your marriage and God is healing you right now. But God wants you to follow an instructions. You can just spend 2 days of retreats. This is an instruction to a particular family. I don't know that family, but there's a season of your family you're supposed to get to. And you're saying, why are we still here? You can just spend 2 days of retreat. Say, Lord, just help us, show us some things. And I know that God will show you. This is an instruction for a particular family here. There's a season that you want to enter into. God is saying, I want to show you. Just spend 2 days with me. Just spend it as a retreat. Please don't ignore this. That's for somebody. Let's go with our class. All right. So number 4 is short form video addiction. Short form video addiction. Short form video addiction. Have you realized that so many boys cannot sit down for 30 minutes to receive a teaching? Once the video is more than 2 minutes, they're tired. And say, our children do not have low memory, low visual. No, listen. It's a problem. It's a problem. That's why we can call boys and say, sit down in class for 4 hours. They say, no, we sat down in class for 4 hours. Yes, we're having some exercise, but we learned. Look, there's a psychology effect of these things. We're sitting telling boys, watch, they can see a movie for 2 hours, 3 hours, seasonal movie, but they cannot sit down to listen to a teaching for 30 minutes. Is that not destiny wickedness? We must culture our children. That's what we do with the boys. So every week they have a video to watch. At least 30, 45 minutes. They are watching somebody relevant and then they are taking notes and they are giving summary of what they got from that video in that week, because it's very critical for their destiny. This one we're doing. It's not just me that teach the boys in our mentorship program. There are people. We can tell them, listen to Ben Cassie, this is the video, and they watch, and then they summarize, and they come and present. Destiny cannot be aborted. We can't wait for chance. Change does not happen by chance. Change does not happen by chance. Are we together? So those short form videos everywhere is inconsistent, is incomplete. They need food, quality food, a meal that is healthy. Number 5, YouTube and streaming addiction. Spending excessive hours watching videos, shows, or creators instead of engaging in real life responsibility. Number 6, online gambling addiction. Repeated betting, sporty bet, gambling through digital platforms, often driven by desire for quick money and excitement. In the boys' money school, we teach the boys about money. We can't ignore it. Who is teaching boys about money? Who is teaching your son about money? What curriculum are they using to train boys about money? Number 7, compulsive internet and chatting, excessive browsing, online conversations, forums, or visual communities that become difficult to stop and begin replacing it. Some boys can be on their class social media for hours, but they cannot sit down for hours with their parents. What are we doing as a family? Are we playing together? Please, let me say this quickly. If we must get our sons, we must understand the place of being a parent pal of your son. Your son needs your attention. They need your availability. They need to assess you. And we must do that together. So let's talk about the 5 E's of protecting my son from digital distraction. How do I protect my son? We've talked about identifying. We've talked about digital addictions. We've talked about the common digital addictions. Let's talk about how to protect them. Number 1 is to educate them. So you don't have to just tell them, don't do this. When you say don't do this, you have to train them on what to do, why they have to, and how to do. Don't just say, the internet is bad. No. Teach them how algorithm works, how online content affects the mind, why pornography is harmful, how manipulating and manipulations happen, and why attention is a valuable currency. Teach them. I have the book called How to Talk to Your Son About Pornography Without Exposing Your Son to Pornography. That ebook is a hard copy, but for those of you that are not in Port Harcourt and you cannot order for copy, you can get the ebook. It's a very important book. I get many messages from parents. Oh, ma, I caught my son watching pornography. Oh, coach, I caught my son watching pornography. Oh, coach, my son is masturbating. What do I do? And I tell them, do you have the conversation with them early? Say, no, I was afraid. I didn't even know what to say. Look, you don't know what to say. You don't know how to start. If your son is getting to it, you don't know how to respond or relate. This book is for you. Don't joke with it. At the end, I'll tell us the price of the book, the ebook. All right. An educated boy is harder to manipulate. So educate your son. Teach him. Talk with him. That's why we do mentorship program for boys. We're a supportive system. We're not taking your role as a parent. We don't tell your parent, oh, come and dump your son for us and no. We work as a program to ensure that all of us together bring out the best in our sons. Number 2, establish boundaries. Create clear family rules. Clear family rules. You don't also violate the rules. You are in your room with your phone every time. Your son gets the phone, he's in the room with the phone. You have a television in front of your son's bed. Why? That's a story for another day. So there's screen time, there's bedtime, device in bedroom, social media, gaming, online friendship, appropriate content. You have to create boundaries and rules. What are the family rules with screen time? What are family rules with bedtime? What are family rules with device in bedroom? Family rules with social media, with gaming, online friendship, content. What are the family rules? See, please write this down if you can. What is not regulated can easily become uncontrolled. Number 3, engage. I said the first is educate. The second is what? Establish boundaries. The third is engage. Don't just monitor your son's screen. You have to enter his world. Ask what games are you playing? Ask what creators he follows on social media? Who are his favorite musicians and why? Ask what his friends are sharing, what experiences they are having, what struggles his friends are having. Ask him, who are you following? Who are you listening to? Who's your favorite content creator? Why do you like him? All of those things will help you understand your son. Ask what he enjoys online. Ask the game, why do you like this game? Find him, go into his world so that you can bring him into the real world that he should be in. Stop shouting from afar. Yeah, you're wasting your time. Look, it will just be wasted. Look, when you do that, you're not creating any results. You're only attacking him. In fact, you're speaking the devil's language. And you know, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Number four, example. Your son is watching your relationship with technology. If you cannot put your phone down when you're eating, when you're talking with the family, your family is talking, you're saying, "Oh, I'm listening." No, if you can't, don't be surprised when he struggles to put his own down. Your son is watching because children learn digital discipline by watching adults practice it. They learn it by watching adults. Many of us as adults, we're always on our games. We're always doing, and the son is just watching. And number five, you have to empower him. The ultimate goal is not to raise a boy who behaves well only because his parents are watching. No. The goal is a boy who can say no, who can stop, who don't need media to prove he's fine, who knows what is right and what is wrong and chooses what is right, who can control his attention. This is where the integrity really begins because boys need training. You have to remember, we're not raising boys who will escape the digital world. We are raising boys who will enter the digital world and control the systems rather than the system controlling them. The goal is not to merely take away screen time. The goal is to be more self control, stronger character, deeper relationship, clearer purpose, and lasting integrity. As parents, we must sit down and begin to ask, who am I? What kind of family am I building? What is my relationship with my son? And how are we building the future of our son? Don't forget, your greatest enemy in parenting is not your child, is not your spouse, is not your neighbor. They are the things that are attacking your children: pornography, drugs, gambling, gaming, masturbation, social media consumption, and many other things are fighting against the destiny of your son. We have to wake up because our sons will fulfill destiny. Let me stop here till I take questions. Thank you very much for the time. I'm sure you got value from our section. Coach Vivian, your volume is off, your mic is off.
Why do I want to stop with this whole 5 pages already? And I've also missed some parts because I'm rushing to
Uh
get everything noted.
uh
Who
uh
who wants to stop? Especially for some of us who have plenty boys. I know that you don't want
uh
to stop. And even if you don't have biological boys, you have destiny boys, you have, nephews. Is it nephews that are for boys? And you have friends, children who are attached to you. And like all of us are intertwined with the boy child one way or the other.
yeah.
And that's why this call is something I don't know what to feel right now because there are many things that I've just heard. You were saying when you were talking about not quarreling the boy child, like shouting at them and just without connection. Something just dropped in my mind yesterday morning. Let me share with you so you can also give us the response. Yesterday morning, a mother very close to me lived in the same street before she packed somewhere else, and she was she's someone I call family because we are quite close. Her 11-year-old, is this kind of dysregulated kind of child. I was helping her to make sure that he's emotionally strong and stable and not winding up and down and all of that. Now he have entered He's entering secondary school in September. And the mother was sharing with me that every time the siblings are crying because he's always from this person to this person. He will hold you. He will catch this person's hand. He will, like he's always on one person or the other. I, and I realized that time before they even left, it was not up to this age then. He may be 9 or 8 at the time. 9, yeah, around that age. I was looking at him that he was doing those things to trigger the siblings because he will catch you, he will kiss you here, he will hug you here, and then the siblings are always fighting him, leave me alone, leave me. So it became like a kind of chaos in the house. So the siblings are fighting him, he's fighting them back. The mother is, in between lines, not knowing whether to keep beating him because the mother was actually beating him mercilessly. Mercilessly. I have met the mother once, beating this boy with both Toningari, cable of charger, charger cable. The charger slipped off and she ran and got, so there was a lot of crazy beating at the time, even though she claims now that she's no longer beating her that much. So my question is, this kind of boy, because from what I observed at the time, it wasn't necessarily that he was gearing towards anything. I just saw a child who wants to be cuddled, who love, he's just this kind of gumming baby kind of thing. But because he's a boy, and then the mother will hear these boys that are doing pornography, the boys that are learning this one, the boys that so she comes in with all sorts of things. And I kept telling her at the time, you're mixing a lot of things.
Mm.
Understand the child first.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
to
yeah,
really study the boy first. So
yeah.
there's a lot of mix up now, and now she's afraid the boy is going into Jason, and he said, this thing is still happening. Let him not go to school and start holding people's children. So I
Uh,
told her, I even want to check if she's in this session because I told her, get into this session. I don't have all the
mm.
answers to everything you're asking, but I know that we can get better answers from professionals who have worked directly with the boy child. So
I
what do you
will.
think?
What I'll do is if I have that parents, I have to interview and take a diagnosis of the previous experiences they've had. Sometimes it could be trauma that brought her into beating and the rest of them. I don't have all the details. However, sometimes it could be a dysfunction in a child that needs to be checked medically. But sometimes also we have to look at the functionality of the boy. Some boys are very clingy, all right, and it's completely not wrong. The only thing we need to do is to teach them some level of
Completely not wrong because
interdependence.
I have a child that is clingy.
Yes, interdependence, and let them know boundaries. All right, know when somebody says no, what it means. And then the person cannot listen to no or hear no. There's a dysfunction that is happening that we need to pay attention to, either medically, psychologically, or we need to actually do some mentorship training for the boy. The second thing, I also want to ask the environment, what kind of environment? From what you said, it shows that some level of toxicity exists in the environment. A boy who does not feel loved in a context of his love language, and he's trying to express a love language, but you're not guiding it, you are fighting against his love language. So there is friction that happens. Where is his father? What does his father do when he hugs him? Does the father show him how to hug, how to hold, how to peck, which is nothing wrong? Understand? And then separating between strangers and those who are close. And so all of those things are part of the things I would want to know, because I won't just give a judgment of a one car fit. Or that's Nigeria. Don't worry, my sister. You're not in
Yes,
a wrong thing.
that's
No, no, there's no
Nigeria.
shame to it. Let me quickly say this when this happened. Let me tell you something. Parents, please, let's listen. Some of the things that we need to understand is this perfection syndrome is a destruction. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's the media that makes us feel this way. I remember something that happened one time. I was speaking in the UK from my house. I had done everything to ensure there is power. In fact, everything possible. And I had a conference, I had a pitch. I was speaking in the UK, and we had people who I respect were in that meeting, and they took the light. I did not bother. I just kept talking. And after a while, I paused. I said, look, I'm in a country that is developing. I don't have power currently, but I want to let you know that I have the power within me to make a change. And my voice was what it was. People started clapping, and then I got people to bring back light for me. And I continued. Why I'm saying that is because you see, sometimes things are not under our control. What is not under your
Okay.
control is not under your control. And
Yeah.
sometimes we're trying to control what is not under our control and feel frustrated, and we transfer the aggression to our children because we are
Mm,
burning out with the time we're supposed to use to create family relationship.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong. Vivian, you never wanted light to go off. It has gone off. You have made arrangement and you still naming the amendment. These are part of our journey. There's nothing wrong with our children. We are fine. All right. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Of course, there's nothing wrong because even the solar you trust, sometimes solar is what gone went off now. So you see that we don't really need to kill ourselves. Everything is not under our control. We
Yeah.
have a question here that says, I want to know if there are activities that best suits a melancholic, choleric boy. Also, is there a subtle way to teach this boy refusal skill? Wow.
Yes, the activities. The active. Thank you very much. First of all, you've been able to identify some personality of your son, the activity engagements that we do for them. First of all, understanding your boy's strengths as a melancholy and a choleric. What are their strengths? What are their weakness? So while we are creating activities that help their strength, we're also creating activities that help them see empathy and humanity in other people that don't have that strength, and those activities support to deal with their weakness. All right. So if you want those activities, I can't just throw them here right now.
Yeah.
We have to get engaged, and then have the conversation. Is there a subtle way? Yes. There are ways to teach refusal skills. Start from your home. Teach him how to say no to you. Teach him why he has to say no when you come with something. Practice it in the house. All right. So you're asking for something that is not supposed to be. Can I kiss you? As in kiss on the lips. You see how that thing sounds to you people now? That a parent is telling his son, can I kiss you? You're telling him you want to practice. Say no. Why is he saying no? Because he's not supposed to kiss your lips as a father. He's supposed to have a cheek peck and all of that. You see, when he knows that this thing, and he asks him, why did you say no to me? He said it's wrong. Why is it wrong? What you're doing is you're listening to his thinking and his beliefs. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're already
Mm,
doing the no system. Oh, can you? No, hard things. Put your hand in the fire. No. You're there to guide, though. Age appropriate anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying age
yeah.
appropriate. I'm talking
Yeah.
about a 14-year-old boy. You understand his mental psychology. I'm not saying you
Yeah.
should go and tell your 3-year-olds, put your hand in fire. Say, mommy, before you finish talking, fire had burnt it. I get what I'm saying. I'm saying, I want to also know, depend on the age of the child too. I'm saying things that you will have guided this thing to, so that you will know how he's saying no. All right. That's what I want to say and stop there. Sorry, I didn't want to sound negative in a way. That's why I had to bring a balance to these things. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, please, before um your time elapses, share a little about the program you run with boys. Are there age specifications for them? 5 years, 7 year, 11 year. How does it look? So tell us
Yeah, we
publicly so
have
we
we have
can.
our Boys Growth Academy. We have a program that's Temly. We have for boys ages 5 to 8, ages 9 to 11, ages 12 and above. Sorry, ages 9 to 12, ages 13 and above. It's an online mentorship program currently, basically online. We meet twice in a month. Then they have books they read, book reading and then training sections. And once in the term, we have section with the parents where they throw in questions, they make in their reports, and we also give that. So all of those programs happens online. We're starting our next cohort in September to December, online, and it's something that we, in the course of teaching, and parents whose sons are in the class begins to tell us some things. We look at some things with the boys. We also have our one-on-one classes where we train, we coach, we build and help boys become better. The idea is simple: helping boys discover themselves, live responsible, and choose to fulfill God's will for their life. So those are part of the things we designed for boys.
Okay. Okay, we want to get all of these details because they are very important to us. Because I particularly have an issue with children who tend to like a certain thing and like it beyond. I don't know how to explain it, but I need to explain publicly so you can also maybe some other people are dealing with it. I have a son who loves football so much. And because of his desire for football, I had to register him in football academy. He, attends football academy after school. I mean, even what school days, not just holiday. He attends certain days. I think Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, then Saturday mornings during school time. Some these weekdays are in the evening, 4 to 6. But I have a problem with him getting so attached that I don't seem to see interest in any other thing, you know, that takes his time. Aside the regular reading, they all generally love to read books. This holiday, he has read series of books, and as I speak now, they are in a Bible vacation school. They will close by 4. So I aside these particular ones that are stipulated for a certain period of time, I don't see him get interested in other things like other skills or other activities. Just this football, football, football. So I don't know. Are there things that we could do with such children? Are there exposures that we need to give them to also, open their minds about other
Eh,
things?
he was exposed to football, so that's why he liked football. It's not because he's just talented alone. He was exposed to football. You exposed him to football. People
I
exposed
don't
him
think
to
I did.
football.
I don't know anything about football, but I hear him
N-
call all sorts of names and all
When he
that.
was growing up, did he ever watch football?
Yes, he did.
Was he
So
around people
much.
that liked watching football?
Yes, so much. He would
So
tell me,
that's the
Daddy, I was
exposure
there.
now. That's the exposure. Daddy was watching football. He would watch with him. He was getting interest. Did Daddy watch table tennis like that?
No, 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 no,
Did he watch basketball like that?
no, no, no.
So you see, that's why in the teaching I talked about exposure, right? And apart
Yeah.
from that, now there's absolutely nothing wrong him being more interested in football than anything. However, like one of the things you have seen is, for example, the vacation classes, trainings. In that place, they can expose, or you too can create a family curriculum in holiday where football is
Yeah.
2 times. Why another thing you think you should pick interest in too? It could be a skill in tech. It could be skill in mechanical, whatever construction. Things that can be handy. It could be skill in cooking. So this can be your project for the first term. First term, apart from football, one of the things you're focused in is boys cooking skill all through that term. That's what we also do in the academy, for example. All through the term, we do cooking for that term. Next time, it could be creativity and that in fashion. So the boy learn how to stitch clothes in the next academic cohort. Do you understand? So we're saying that I believe that apart from what the family does and apart from what we do, all right, boys are learning. So we're doing cooking, yeah, support system. If week 1 we teach about it, we say week 2, every boy, we need to see what you cooked. We're cooking beans this week. Family support system, they cook their beans and show us. Week 3, there's no cooking. Week 4, you're cooking amala or whatsoever it is that week. So in the next 8 to 10 weeks, they've cooked at least 5 meals. That
Hmm.
one is settled. Okay, a boy can learn some things. In that, as you're with him, teaching him, you are guiding, he's seeing some things. He might not take it as a perfect skill, but he had picked a skill in 3 or 4 months. Do you get the point? In one
Yeah.
year, he had picked interest in 2 or 3 skills. He might not be committed to it completely, but he has learned it. Sha. So those little drops of those things are helping him grow. He might not be a footballer, he might be a footballer, sha. A footballer that cooks. Let me give an example. I cook very well when it comes to fisherman soup. So sometimes when my friends are coming back from a rig, their wife call me and say, "Oh boy," they pay me money to cook it for their husbands. And I cook it and I collect my money. Like this night now, I have to cook somewhere. And I cook and I collect my money. I'm going to their kitchen. We'll be talking. I'm teaching them parenting and I'm cooking the fisherman soup for them from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do you get what I'm saying? And I collect my money, but I don't come out advertising to people that Bibo is a cook. Oh, no. You see, but these are
But
part of
it's
the things that
another
I,
source of income.
yes, it's a source of income. It's a skill I learned. My mother taught all her 5 boys to cook. Do you get the point? I never had a
Yeah.
relationship where anybody cooked for me. For the long time of my life, even in university, I cooked all my food. So what I'm trying to say is create that system, and that's what you need to do. So don't short him, but also make him know that we're having an agreement. If you're doing well in football and you're not doing well with other areas of your life, We have to
Yeah.
create a pause to an extent with your football so that you can do, because it's a holistic culture we have to create. Thank you,
Yes.
ma.
Yes. Yes. And I think that cooking has also saved a lot in them from when they were 5, when they start entering the kitchen.
All
Okay.
right.
I don't know if we have any other question that is showing up now, but at the moment I can see everybody raving you. Thank you so much, Coach. God bless you. I can see everyone. And as we get more questions, we are sending our questions to you. But on a very serious note, this September, every boy child, especially in our tribe, sorry, every boy parent, it is going to be compulsory for every one of us to get our children. But the things you shared from the beginning of the session was spinning my head, you know, the agenda of Satan. And it is clear, using systematic agenda. They no longer want you to feel the devil is. No, it's systems. And if we are not creating these systems, which I can tell you, working with parents themselves, that a lot of families are in chaos. A lot of families are confused. We don't have united front of the father and the mother. So nothing is literally happening, and then there's a lot of fight. So if and the children are soaking it all in, especially the boy
Yeah.
child, who is the major attack. The major attack is on him, because from him comes the loins of his generation. So we
Yeah.
know this, and we are not going to keep quiet about it. Thank you so much for this honor. We are
Thank you,
grateful,
ma.
and we are getting back to you um, for more and more and more and more of this experience. This is an experience. We are grateful. Thank you for this message today. I know it's going to transform every one of us who have heard this message as we take it back to the boy child and the boys in our life as well. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma.
We are
Thank
grateful.
you.
All right, people. This is just the tip of an iceberg, because more and more of these things are going to be staring at our faces in these few remaining days. Okay? So, yeah, a lot of people are raving. Coach Abibo, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are grateful for this session. Please stay tuned. By 5 p.m., we are having the second and the last session for today, which is from brokenness to breakthrough, healing family trauma, from stopping it from becoming a generational cycle. This affects everybody. In the past few weeks, is the internet has been on fire because of stories of traumatic experiences that people began to share about their life as children, childhood experiences. And this is not anything different from what millions of people have also lended their voice in sharing secretly, and some not even talking about it. Okay? Yesterday, I got a voice note that blew me completely, of someone also sharing her experiences with her mother and denouncing how they would never want their mother to be their mother in their next life. So it's a lot for everybody who was raised in this part of the world. I want to talk particularly about this part of the world where I live. Abibo said it. Who raised you can jeopardize or empower your parenting. Where you were raised, how you were raised. We don't usually ask why in this part of the world. It is about the what happened, what did he do, what. We don't usually ask why. And it is the why that we're going to be taking in this second session, to go deeper into the things that have happened and why they happened. And if we're not careful asking questions, we will repeat it. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are, how exposed you are, except you are exposing yourself to knowledge like this. That's why we bring up parenting education to empower parents in places like this conference. Please stay back. At 5 p.m., we go live with From Brokenness to Breakthrough, a session that is going to be affecting every one of us, and we need to be there for ourselves, for our children, for our families, for our friends, for our colleagues. Every one of us need to start sharing that link so that you get everybody in the session. Thank you so much, and see you again in the second session. Do not forget that the Build Your Home Tribe is the place of training the trainers. You heard Coach Abibo talked about the training places for the boys, the training curriculum they've designed, and all the things that they do for the boy child. We are particularly working with parents in the tribe community. And what that means is that after listening and you are not getting to work, you're not getting into a system that helps you build your own family system. You've just done nothing to what you have learned. Okay. The essence of the learning is that we take it a step further to begin to practicalize, to begin to create systems for ourselves. In this part of the world, we don't understand what systems are. What we understand is emotions. Oh, he did like this, you're crying. He did like that, my children, my husband, and you're crying or shouting or reporting or nagging and fighting everywhere. You need to create systems. That's why we're running the tribe. Please don't listen and leave. Book a slot for joining the Build Your Home Tribe 2027. The screen is showing on the screen how to book the slots, the number to chat. You're booking a slot with your 20,000 naira. The entire fee is 100,000 the whole year, less than 10,000 per month. Who does that? Who does that? With all the learnings and the empowerment that is coming to you in the tribe community, you don't want to miss out. Please do not just listen and leave. Get everyone to come into the tribe. We are building a system for the next generation. We want to do something better than the past generation. And that would, of course, rub off on the society, the government, the church, and everywhere where we want to have our life, peacefully lived and creating the impact we need to have in our own time. So please make sure you send a chat to the number on the screen and get your slots booked for 2027 Build Your Home Tribe. See you in the next session.